Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove Case. When you think of an advocate, you think of someone that fights for justice, does the right thing, but also respects the boundaries and wishes of the victim's family, the police assigned to the case. Well, with the Noah Presgrove case, there have been some people that have overstepped the line, overstepped the mark, and have continued on pushing. Sometimes in life, pushing through with passion can blind what other people want. And when you disrespect people's wishes, go against them, it can feel suffocating for those on the other side. It's important to take a step back, to listen to what other people say through words or body language, and then reassess your next move. Unfortunately, that never happened. Join me today as we do a file analysis, a collection of screenshots over time, piecing it together to share with you the attitude of what the police have had to say about a particular advocate and what the odd Noah Presgrove family member has had to say about this particular advocate. We've looked at it here and there, but it's about piecing it all together as one to highlight the true nature of the attitude within the person, how they've acted and behaved, and what they did onwards and so on. Now, this individual fighting for justice, doing posts, spreading awareness is all good, was all good, but it's the attitude as well from the person, the way they've labelled other people, just because another individual had a different opinion on the cause of death and who they think is involved and who they think is innocent. People being kicked, removed from certain pages. Sometimes the advocate relying on some screenshots which are out of context, but then they've got the cheek to call other people out for using out of context screenshots, and so on and so on. Sometimes the advocate lowering themselves to other people's levels, other times playing the victim card, often quite hypocritical in behaviour, very poor with language and wording, which creates misunderstanding and confusion. And then after, they have the cheek to expect people to understand what they're saying, and for strangers as well, in a way. A lot of contradictions, hypocrisy, and double standards displayed by the attitude of this particular advocate. And when you've got someone like that within a community, that becomes a bit of a problem. It doesn't do much good for the community, the case, and other people within it, going about trying to learn, sharing thoughts and discussions, but then you've got this one particular advocate that's calling out, labelling, insulting other people just for thinking differently and making wild claims of just assuming that if you disagree with that individual, that said person, you must be paid off or on the dark side. That type of attitude is very problematic and very reckless, and at other times they've got the cheek to call other people out for misinformation or labels or bold behaviour. They've done it themselves, regardless of who did it first. It's that you respond back to the same standards and levels as the other person. You should be a better person, you should do better, you should be different, you should make that difference and be that difference within the case. If you claim to be an advocate, that's what you should do. But these people, and some, have not followed the guidelines, the standards, the behaviour, what's accepted and what's appropriate. So it's about grouping it all together today. It's not about shining someone or making someone look bad or dark. They've done it to themselves. It's self-inflicted. It's about understanding the attitude of what other people think of this said advocate, their thoughts. And it's not just strangers from the internet calling one another out. It's not a tussle between Brooke Bounds-Carter and his said advocate, or Donna Bond or Brenda and his said advocate. It's about Noah's family. It's about the police, the very people, the important ones tied up within the case, either cooperating or working on the case. And like with any true crime scenario, you should be able to have the hope that the authorities can do their job, and for the family, the victim's family, to go about it their way and to assist when needed or asked, to provide that balance, not quite being displayed here at times, but I've got experience this type of behaviour from others that either claim to know it all, wannabes, wannabe detectives, wannabe police, but they're not actually qualified or in that role to do it, but how they overstep and push themselves through the door, it comes across as if that's what they are or that's what they're trying to do. And at times, some of these people aren't even related to the victim. Other times, there might be a friend, and in this case, it would be. Problem is, emotions can overrule the body and mind, blinding judgment, leading to irrational thinking, bull in a china shop mentality, a level of entitlement, rushing about, demanding answers, emotionally charged because the person that you care about or love or close to in some way is what's driving you to push forwards. That motivation is good, but there should be balance within it, because you go full throttle, it might cause problems. We've got to take in consideration if it's people at the forefront within a case, victim's family, those very close, it makes sense for them to push on all the way. But when it's outsiders, strangers, or slightly connected due to some kind of friendship, whilst yes, it's still driven by emotion and that's understandable, it's not your son or it's not your daughter, it's not your child. So there's only so much that you can do. You should respect the wishes of what the family want. And look, there might have been a divide over time where some family agree and approve of certain advocates and others do not. But we've seen it from Victor Presgrove, Noah's father, and even Ashley Chadwick, the cousin to Noah. So even just a handful of Noah Presgrove family members sharing their thoughts, etc., is important enough. So I just want to say before we go any further, welcome if you're currently here during this live premiere. Share your thoughts, opinions in the live chat box located on the right side of the screen. If you want to leave any additional comments, thoughts or questions, be sure to drop a comment down below under the video down there, comment section. If you want to support my channel, there is a PayPal link in the pinned comment section to follow through with. If you simply want to catch up on the recent coverage by me, if you've missed any previous videos out, don't worry, it's all available to find and catch up on in the Noah Presgrove full playlist, top right corner where the eye symbol is up there. Just click on the eye, you get the drop down menu box with the playlist and the odd loose video attached. The order of how we're going to do things today. First of all, we need to see it partially from Caden Pressey's side of the story in how he felt towards this said advocate in the beginning. As well, what OHP, or member of the police known as Anthony Linares, one of the officers, what he had to say about this said advocate. Is it positive or is it negative? And to be fair, it's mostly negative. I am going to play the whole video to you in its raw format, but this time round, to be extra safe due to YouTube guidelines and phone numbers, I will be blanking it. It's difficult to do with a moving video. So the original video is still on my channel. Don't worry about that. If you want the raw footage, which all it is Caden in the back seat of a car going on vacation. He's using a phone or something to record his phone or someone else's phone whilst making a call with Anthony Linares. And 10 minutes before that, Justin Roy had contacted Anthony Linares, the advocate. Okay? But the screen on Caden's phone or whoever's, which Caden's holding, has the phone number on. And because of YouTube guidelines, I don't want to risk this video being taken down. I've been screwed over too many times, as you know, and much more. I want to be safe. So I'm going to play to you the audio. You're not going to miss out much. You're still listening to the audio, the call itself, which is most important. Play it in its full entirety. And then we'll refer back to the key points which show the advocacy in a negative light based on raw thoughts and opinions early on from Caden's point of view towards Justin and Anthony Linares' point of view. Analyse that. And then after that, we're going to move on to some other screenshots and conversations. Some you may have seen before, others you may have not, and some in between you may have forgotten about. This is all about the key points of views from key people in what they think and feel towards Justin. Because they like to talk themselves up as in being an advocate and pushing for justice, and they'll, strike other people down with words and put them down if it's done differently or it's not agreed upon in the same way. But Are they in a place to be standing upon a pedestal or a throne? No, because this video will show it a different way. And there'll be the odd screenshot as well, which you may have never seen before, which is more shocking in a sense. It kind of really breaches possible guidelines in a case and trying to get answers in certain styles, putting other people possibly in danger. So don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss anything from this video. Be sure to stick around for the full context. I'm going to play to you the audio call right now. Be sure to listen in.
Hello?
Hello? Is this Officer Anthony?
Uh-huh.
Hi, I was told to contact you by Justin.
Okay.
My name is Caden Pressey.
Oh, yeah. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good.
Was there some questions or something that you were wanting to ask me?
I don't think so. Not at this moment.
No.
I don't know. What did he say? I'm a little confused.
Here, I'll read it to you. So he texted my mother saying, to contact OHP Officer Anthony, and he gave me a contact number. And then he said, Justin needs you to call and speak to this OHP officer. So I'm guessing I just need to tell you my story from what happened the night.
What happened, like, in September?
Yeah, what happened with Noah.
Okay. I got you. Okay. So, man, are you busy?
I got some minutes to spare.
You got a couple of minutes?
Yes, sir.
How well do you know Justin?
I do not know him at all. All I know is that he is the wrestling coach for Noah, I guess.
Okay. Well, because he makes a lot of posts and makes a lot of comments and stuff, and he really makes himself seem involved in kind of our investigation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I can 100% agree with you there.
Huh?
I said I 100% agree with you there.
You won't?
I said I 100% agree with you there.
You wanna? I think you said I wanna. Okay, yeah. He's sent in a lot of stuff, and it's kind of like I told him, and I talked to him last week, and I talked to him 10 minutes ago. That's probably why you're calling me. I said, man, you're trying to put a 5-piece puzzle together with 2 pieces of information, and one of those pieces is inaccurate. So you're drawing way too many conclusions. And I said, man, we still got some people we got to talk to, and maybe talk to again and stuff like that. I said, but we're working on this deal. And so what did he do? He called your mom and said, the Highway Patrol needs to talk to him.
Yep.
I'd like to talk with you. We can, but I'm not going to do that like, on the, I hate to say this, but I'm not going to do that on the order of Justin Roy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you there.
I hate that he bugged you like that. Where do you live at?
I live in Duncan, but right now I'm on vacation. So this weekend,
dude, you're on vacation. I mean, how old are you? 19, 20?
Just turned 20, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot going on. You guys have been dealing with a whole lot of stuff. Did they talk to you guys? Did they talk to you? I wasn't there. I didn't go in and do a bunch of interviews in the very beginning. Have the Highway Patrol, did anybody talk to you yet? Have you had an interview at all?
I actually had to reach out to the OHP multiple times to talk to them because I wanted to get my story out.
Yeah.
And I just talked to Zachary, that Zach guy, once, and that was the end of the story, I guess.
How long ago was that?
That was like a month or 2 after it happened.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Zach was he took the original call, and He was the original guy working it, and he's still working it. But we've got a couple other guys that had a little bit more flexibility with the schedule and stuff that are kind of doing some follow up stuff. When do you come back from vacation?
We can meet up this weekend and talk if you want.
This weekend?
Yes, sir.
Let's see, what's today? Monday. Let's try and do something like that. Let's wait till you get back.
All right.
I'm not going. Where are you on vacation at? Anywhere good?
We're up here visiting some cabins up in the foresty part of Oklahoma.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Is this your phone number?
Yes, sir. This is my primary phone number.
Just man, holler at me when you come back, and then we'll set something up. We'll go down there and visit with you, and a lot of, and this provides another opportunity too. A lot of stuff has been said. People are talking, not just Justin, but a lot of people. And so it'll be another opportunity to say like, hey, like, yes, this is true. No, that's completely false. Like, this is all internet talk.
Yes, sir.
And so we'll be able to do that. I don't remember what was said. I really don't, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. I saw that, you made a Facebook post or a comment or something a while back, maybe a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, no big, I'm not worried. If you feel like, that's what you needed to do. I know you've been, I think you even says on there, like, I've been, I haven't said anything. I've been waiting my turn or whatever.
Yeah, I've only been speaking to the people that need to know, not the people that want to know,
Yeah, and that's very smart of you. That's very, very smart. I highly encourage you to continue doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I highly encourage you to continue doing that because, it's frustrating. And, everybody wants answers. I want the answers too, but we're piecing a big puzzle together. And like I said a minute ago, I don't want to do it with wrong or inaccurate information. So, enjoy your vacation, dude. Holler at me when you get back. We'll set something up. We'll meet you down there in Duncan. I mean, I live in Blanchard, so it's not very far.
All right.
And we'll sit down and talk, and we'll clear all this stuff up and go on down the road. I mean, if it's, unless you absolutely just have, a smoking gun or something, I'm not going to bug you on your vacation. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing I am worried about is that a lot of the stuff that has been going around. I mean, it's sad to say it, but Jack Newton was one of my best friends before this happened, and then it's like the whole friend group just split up right after this. But a lot of the stuff that they are saying are completely false, which is just making me more suspicious about what they are saying.
When you say they, who do you mean they?
The Newton family and the Combs family.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, we'll talk about that when you get back. We'll cover stuff up, or not cover it up, but we'll cover stuff and we'll get it all figured out. So.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Thanks for calling. I'm sorry, dude. That's I'd rather talk to you in person. I don't want to bug you on the phone, and I wasn't going to call you. Like I said, I've got some other things that we're working on, and other cases and other things, and so I wasn't necessarily ready to bug you yet. So,
yes,
but yeah,
sir.
when you come back, we'll set something up, and we'll sit down and talk.
All right, thank you. You have a good day, sir. You too.
All right, you too. Be careful.
Bye.
While some of you would have heard that call before in the past, it was important to reiterate and bring it back up because it was much earlier on in the case or so, and it's at a time of when Caden Pressey wasn't fully introduced to Justin Roy before all the behind-the-scenes talk came about, as in May onwards of 2024, before the police interview of 2024, June, and the Parts in True Crime interview of July. So when you've got a fresh face, you don't know the individual, the thoughts is raw, natural, first-time impressions. So it says a lot more about the reactions by Caden then than later on, and Anthony Linares too. Based on the general tone, it was somewhat negative, more as in disappointment Anthony feeling sorry for Caden, put on the spot, in a sense, put with a bit of pressure. And you may have seen that pattern elsewhere, as other people have claimed and accused the advocate for pressuring people in inboxes, online, social media. I can't talk about all of that, but I can talk and speak for myself. What I'll say is there have been times previously where Justin, and communicating with me in the early days when everything was all fine and good, basically covering it from the army page and the murder aspect and defending Caden Pressey, let's just put it that way, that when Justin wanted something to be covered or looked into or a little screenshot here and there, first, the expectation for me to remember it all within a few seconds and then they would delete the stuff and unsend. Why so secretive and cautious? Why not just leave it there? It's a private chat. Or are you deleting it because you don't trust me, even back then? A bit questionable. I couldn't be expected to remember everything. Whilst, yeah, people say I'm intelligent. Well, I don't always feel that. Sometimes it takes me time to process. Sometimes I've got to read over it more than once. Because like behind the scenes, when I say behind the scenes, I mean when I'm making videos and recording, whilst, yeah, I can record it in one take mostly. Before I've hit the record button, I'll read over something a few times and might overthink, and just to be sure with myself that I understand it and it makes sense. And other times my mind may glitch or be a bit slow, which I can't really control always. Sometimes mind goes blank as well. That's why it takes a bit of time. It takes a bit more effort. That's why other people slip up, mess up bad. I don't as much because I'm trying to be a bit more careful and cautious. So I'm expected to remember all this when it's only being shown for a few minutes and then deleted afterwards. And Justin's like, are you doing it? Are you making the video? When are you doing it? Come on, this needs to be done. Come on, come on. And it's like, sorry, I forgot. Who's the one in charge? The creator or you? I'm the YouTuber. I have my channel. I have my schedule in what I do, what I create, and when I upload. You will not be taking over. Okay? There's been times in the past in the community elsewhere where people have demanded that I should block people and add others as moderators, and I'm thinking, I'm sorry, the last time I checked, you aren't in charge. You're on a page engaging and consuming material and content for educational reasons or entertainment or both. I don't remember you being the channel owner last time I checked, so know your place and role. Let me just add for context, the way people have presented themselves in that way. It was rude, it was demanding, and it was upfront. It wasn't done with respect, so why should I be back? Okay? People have been very pushy at times, and it's the same with expectations and demands of videos being made or covered, and, just that pushy nature. And that's what Justin was like from my own experience at times, quite pushy. So I can imagine what it might have been like for other people in more tense situations, okay? So I can comment on that. But referring back to Anthony Linares and Caden Pressey, one of the things first mentioned, Justin Roy contacted Alicia, Caden Pressey, to contact OHP. That's what the understanding was within that call. Why does Justin have to contact Alicia's mum for contact with OHP when you'd think the way Alicia has behaved over time in communication and being a voice for Caden online, you'd think a fully grown adult and mother would be able to do the job themselves and not have to rely at the time on a stranger called Justin Roy. Now, Justin Roy may be passionate, but is he the guy with all the contacts, all the screenshots and all the evidence, so anyone has to reach out or go through to Justin before they go through other people? I don't know. Justin, let's not forget, is a member of the general public. He's not a private investigator. He's not a detective. He's not a victim's family. He's not directly involved in the case, nor was he at the party. He's a member of the general public that just so happens to know Noah Presgrove to an extent, right? So there is emotion and connection there, that's understandable. But for Justin to what? Just based on how it's presented, for Justin to dedicate his time to encouraging, pressuring, suggesting, getting Caden to meet up or call Anthony Linares, and 10 minutes before getting Anthony Linares to call Caden, setting it up like some kind of blind date. Why is Justin Roy being the matchmaker for a stranger who he's not directly connected with? He's spending, more time encouraging Caden to reach out to police, more than, on the surface level, than what he's doing with his own nephews. It just seems like, not that it is, it just looks like, not that it's for definite. Just make that clear. Based on what we see in here, Justin's nephews, police never reached out. Kind of is what it is. But Caden Pressey, Justin was really questioning Caden earlier on. We saw the previous screenshot where Justin was saying to Alicia, has Caden even tried or bothered reaching out to police? What's going on there? Okay, that might be without answers and context, which Justin learned after that Caden did try and did do this and that. But why does it concern Justin of all people? Is Justin the police? No. Is Justin's the victim's family? No. So why does he take it upon himself to start interrogating and pushing or questioning people with a pushy, slightly forceful attitude? Whether he's doing all the right things, he's not really in that role or position to be doing it. It could cause conflict of interest in the case. It could cause pressure within a key suspect or witness or a person of interest that may feel pressured into doing something that they don't want to or not quite ready for, and how it's handled with the police, and from there it could be harmed. In this case, it probably wasn't, but it's that what if, and you've got to handle things carefully, because you rush on in, you might disrupt the case or disrupt the process in building a rapport or what someone's trying to build with another person. It can be interference in a way. And that's what Anthony Linares was suggesting. And it's not just Anthony Linares as part of the police, but Zachary Wright, another police guy that spoke about Justin directly. We'll be sharing that later, so don't go anywhere. But it's just weird how the channels of communication, stranger to Alicia, and then what? Alicia to Caden, or stranger to Caden, then Caden to the police guy, and the police guy being contacted by the stranger, as in Justin at the time, being matched together on call and slightly baffled and, are we supposed to be calling? Are we supposed to be talking about anything? Like, clearly it wasn't truly planned. It was a bit put together and on the spot, rushed as well, when Caden was supposed to be on vacation. Did Justin consider that? Who knows? So, Anthony Linares, roughly in quotes, asked Caden, "How well do you know Justin?" Now, normally, when a person asks the other individual that question, it's more of a safeguarding concern. How well do you know that person to really be hanging out with them? How well do you know that individual to be getting close to someone? How well do you know that individual in order to be following their word or advice as in the safe approach? Do you really know who they are? Do you know who they are as a person, their background, their behavior, their attitude? It implies a level of safeguarding and concern that Anthony Linares had for Caden Pressey at the time, in case Caden was in danger or Justin was a dodgy person. Anthony Linares showed a sign of lack of trust, cautiousness, and hypervigilance in how Justin was going about things. Anthony had an odd run-in with Justin before with those calls on and off. So Anthony knows what it's like, as in communication, as in the possible bombardment, and whether they see it as harassment or not, contacting when maybe it's not always necessary, a bit too excessive. For Caden Pressey, a younger, more impressionable individual growing in life, to be in the presence of Justin Roy at the time, I guess Anthony was just checking if Caden was okay by saying, "Do you know who he is? Do you know that person?" And Caden was just basically saying, "Well, no, not really. I know he's some wrestling coach or to do with wrestling, and now that's pretty much it." Pretty vague. Not much to it. not with the same background history and the true connection which other people will have with Noah or know of Justin to Noah and so on. With being unfamiliar and slightly confused, it shows that Caden was in the deep end with the presence of a overly passionate individual fighting for justice, things being slightly rushed. Anthony Linares added on by saying that Justin, he makes a lot of posts and comments. Technically, yeah. And ever since, that's continued on from Facebook, more so to YouTube. Since February of 2026, Justin had said he is done with my channel. Days or weeks later, he said he's definitely done with my channel. A few days later, he's absolutely done with my channel. And 2, 3, 4 months later, Justin is still present, commenting on and off. So he never left. Appears to have a bit of an obsession at times, right? Do I mention the person's name? Yeah. But why? Because it's relevant to the case. How is it relevant to the case if they're not a part of the case? That's a good question. It's because they make themselves a part of the case. They insert themselves within the case. So they become a part of the imprint of the bigger picture. So whatever picture I'm covering, if they've inserted themselves, they will naturally be covered and documented like anyone else. Self-inflicted, they did it to themselves. How they've behaved and acted with time, self-inflicted, they did it to themselves. I'm just here to document, I'm here to analyse, look for the patterns and trends. If people don't like it, tough. Don't act in dodgy ways, don't act in dark ways, don't be a problem. Because if you're a problem, you'll be treated like one. Some people with time may have a disease-ridden, cancerous type of mindset, toxicity basically, in attitude and personality, okay? You don't want to be covered or assessed. Well, don't be acting that way like a disease, because if you act like a disease, you will become my patient and nothing more, okay? Regardless of who it is. Because I do what I can for the cases and just in general anywhere else, or, you know, but the way some people overstep and change in behaviour, it can't be forgotten. It needs to be documented for the sake of oneself and for the sake of the community, the case and anything else, and maybe other people learning along the way. There's a lot more to it. There's quite a lot of depth, and maybe not everyone will see it that way. But beside that, Justin Roy, Anthony Linares, he makes a lot of posts and comments. That's what Justin does. And yeah, I'd say so. Anyone in the chat, would you agree that Justin has made a lot of posts and comments? You could say, so what's the point Anthony is getting at there? What's he trying to say about Justin? He posts a lot, he's engaging a lot. Isn't that positive though, keeping the case alive? Well, on the surface level, you'd say, yeah. But then Linares adds on by saying he really makes himself seem like he's involved in our investigation. He's like trying to be a part of our team, a part of the gang, as in the police force, OHP, like Justin is one of us, assisting and helping, but we never asked for it. He's just inserted himself, tagging himself along with others. I get that. I can't really give the best examples, but there's been times in the past where, you know, like we've come across some questionable people on YouTube in the community and how they've acted and the way they like to group themselves with me or group themselves with a certain collective consciousness, but they weren't always like that. And it's like, how dare you compare yourself to me? How dare you associate yourself with me? We're not in the same boat. We're not in the same pathway, different people. It's kind of like that. So with Anthony Linares, his journey, his path within the case and the police, what they're doing, Justin Roy, different roles, different positions, different abilities, and also limitations. But when Justin, at times, has been acting like the police, private investigator, detective, when without, from what I know of at least, without a true license and all of that, and the pushy behaviour, are they overstepping the line and the boundary? Well, based on what Anthony Linares said, suggest yeah. And we'll say it one more time. Justin, he really makes himself seem involved in our investigation. Anthony wasn't praising or complimenting Justin about that. Anthony was making a clear observation that because Justin is so active within this case, he's like trying to make himself a part of us, the police, but that's the thing. It's our job. That's what we're assigned to do. That's not Justin's role or place. He needs to know his place and role. As for the inner monologue, Anthony is basically saying, Justin, you're not like us, you're not a part of us, step back, let us do our job, and you do yours, which is not overstep the line. You know, like in life where some people need to be questioned, followed up on, and reached out to. It's what the police do, the inquiries, the questioning, investigation, possible interrogation. If you've got a member of the general public that does the job for the police, what does that say? It doesn't say much good about the police, but it doesn't do much good for the case because it's an unnatural force which could harm the investigation, and it could cause an unnatural response from the suspect or the key witness, and it may not stand in court, and it can, socially, it can contaminate it, which is a problem. Just in reaching out to other people when it should be the police's job is a problem. Now, Justin could say, well, the police are corrupt and the police aren't doing much, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But should it be for Justin to be taking that action instead? Or should it be for Noah's family, the second most important people in the case, beside the police, to do something about it themselves or to inquire? The ones that truly want and need answers because it's their son or it's their nephew, etc. You'd think that, but it looks like some people have taken matters into their own hands because they think that they know best and they know what to do. But it doesn't always turn out well. I think that's like how it's gone. But yeah, Caden Pressey, in response to Anthony Linares, had said, I 100% agree with you. So when Anthony said Justin really makes himself seem that he's involved in our investigation, overstepping the line, Caden says, I 100% agree with you on that. So at the time, Caden agreed 100% that Justin was acting like the police in the investigation, despite not being qualified or in that role or job directly for that moment. So even Caden was agreeing with Anthony. That's important, that. And beside that, Anthony had also said, as into Justin, man, you're trying to put a 5-piece puzzle with 2 pieces of information together. And one of the pieces of information is inaccurate. So you're drawing up too many conclusions. What Anthony is saying there is, Justin, what you're working with isn't good enough. It's inaccurate, it's unhelpful, and you're desperately trying to fill all the pieces with limited parts. You can't complete a 5-piece puzzle with only 2 pieces, one of which is inaccurate and void. You can't piece one jigsaw piece to a 5-piece missing puzzle, There's more to it which you don't have yet, and it's needed to complete it all for that perspective, understanding, and actual progress in the case. So in the internal monologue, it would be, don't come back until you've got the 4 other pieces and valid. And if you don't, well, don't bother. It's kind of like that. I know it's not quite said like it, but the reason why that's all interesting, the whole puzzle piece, because a few months before, and when I say before, I don't mean then, I mean right now, real time, a few months ago, Justin used the line himself, openly, not to himself, not to police, but I believe discussions on either Facebook or YouTube, he said, you can't piece together a 5-piece puzzle with limited pieces. Is Justin for real? Because it was Anthony Linares that first told Justin that himself. Justin has the cheek to call other people out for not having all the pieces of the puzzle together and expecting it to be completed with limited, it being reckless. Justin was that very person way back then when Anthony Linares, part of the police, told Justin, what you're working with, your information is inaccurate, that's not good, and the one piece that you've got isn't enough to complete the case. You're trying to be a part of us, you're posting and commenting a lot. Yeah, it doesn't look good, does it, for Justin? But that's what Anthony believed at the time and felt about Justin. Remember, the police force says a lot, doesn't it? You'd hope that an advocate would be praised or there'd be a neutral understanding, but when you've got authorities telling someone to either back down or giving insight to another person, as in the mind of that said encounter, and it's not in a positive way, it just doesn't look good. An advocate should be someone you look up to, not, look down at in disappointment. And it looks as if Anthony Linares was a little disappointed in Justin's approach in the early days. And arguably, Caden Pressey was as well, by agreeing in his own words. You listened to it yourself, right? Adding on, besides that one piece of the puzzle being inaccurate, you're drawing up too many conclusions. Even the police had said, Justin, you're jumping ahead, you're jumping the gun with too many conclusions. Too many, meaning the likely not correct and done recklessly. When the police indirectly say that you're being reckless or it's inaccurate, it doesn't look good, does it? Not a good image to portray. Anthony had also mentioned to Caden personally, I'm not going to do it on the order of Justin Roy, as in the follow-up interview meeting up. We're not going to do it on Justin Roy's time. We're going to do it at a different time when you're ready, when you're comfortable, and when you're available. So in that conversation, that one moment, Anthony was saying to Caden, basically, forget Justin. He's not of much use at this moment because he's coming to lots of conclusions, which doesn't help. He's desperately trying to use misinformation or incorrect info to complete a case and trying to act as the police. Put him aside. Let's just focus on us. And Caden was like, yeah, I 100% agree. Right? Anthony said to Caden, I hate to say it, but I'm not going to do this interview on Justin Roy's time. And Caden's pretty much like, I 100% agree. It's pretty important. And Anthony also said, I hate how he bugged you. The police hate Justin Roy's approach for bugging Caden Pressey, that at the time could have been considered either a key witness or a person of interest in learning about the case, processing the case, and passing on valuable information and whatever they saw or heard. When someone has a lot of information or knowledge, they can be of great value in a case, but you've got to handle it with care. Someone who holds or offers or is of value, you need to keep a close eye on them, keep them tight and make sure that they're okay, preserving what they have, what they are, for the sake of the case. Justin barges on in like a bull in a china shop, without too much care, consideration, and demands or expects Caden to reach out. Sure, you're passionate, you want justice, you want progress, and you want as many people to reach out to police and talk, and you want to give them a helping hand and assist along the way. But it can be done in a calm way. It doesn't have to be rushed. But look, I understand to an extent, and I can't apply it true crime, but psychologically speaking, to balance it out with Justin Roy, to balance it out with the wishes by the police and tying in with the family later and Caden Pressey, psychologically speaking, an individual can be passionate about something or passionate about someone. And when there's passion, there is true care. And in some cases, when there's passion, there is true love. Whether that's seen deep in that sense or on the surface layer. Like Justin Roy, having love within reason towards Noah Presgrove because of that connection in real life. Understandable. And when someone is taken from you or something unexpectedly happens, that passion pulls in a certain direction, pulling forwards to try and get that truth, to get answers. And if you don't have all the answers, but someone else does, you want to try and encourage that other person to reach out for the sake of yourself, the case, and anyone else who's impacted by it. And in general, once again, psychologically speaking, when a person has passion for something or for someone, you'll do almost everything and anything possible to get that closure, to get that progress, to get that justice, to get whatever at the end of the day, not just for you, but for them, the person that you care about and think a lot of. You might jump through lots of hoops, you may drag your body against shards of glass for miles on end, metaphorically, so there can be progress. You might go above and beyond. You might exhaust your body, your mind in learning and understanding and being an advocate or spreading awareness or caring, supporting, doing whatever it takes for someone. You spill your blood, you spill your tears, you spill every ounce of oxygen that you have for someone that you care about. And with that passion, it can be overbearing. It could be overwhelming for the other person. But in a true crime case, unfortunately, they wouldn't be present to comment. But on behalf, it could be the family or the police for that aspect, on behalf of Noah. Passionate because you care. Passionate because there's a level of love within reason. And passionate for answers and closure. But with that passion, it's emotion. And with emotion, it can blind logical thinking and appropriate behaviour. You may genuinely believe that you're acting on the best interest of that said person, whether they're present or not to, agree or not. But you're acting within your best interest, thinking that you know best, it's the right thing to do, but what if it's not? What if you're doing too much? What if you're giving too much? What if what you're doing is slightly unnatural because it's the emotions taking over? And with that emotion and the judgment being blinded, you're not seeing what's in sight, as in the bigger picture and other people involved in their different ways and roles. That in some sense, that when it all takes over and you become that lone wolf, you become that one-man army trying to do everything, because whether you feel other people aren't doing enough, other people don't know, you feel that you're the only key to answers. It might sound bad, but in some cases, not as a bad trait, it's a positive, but slightly misunderstood. A person that has a lot of passion or cares a lot about someone, that they might condition their mind to think that they are the saviour. They can help someone, they can help a case, they can fix someone, they can heal someone. And they may take that responsibility and pressure. They may do it with ease, or at least at first, and they push and try. But what if it was never their role to take upon it in the first place, because it was for the other person to do it themselves, or those on behalf of that said person, such with a true crime case? That if one individual felt that they was the key to answers or the key to fixing something, when in the first place it was never really their role or job. It was good what they did, it was a nice consideration, but did it go too far? Was too much given? Did it create some kind of debt or some overbearing weight upon other people, which was deemed as overwhelming, but other people around, whether they could get the words out or not to say what they really think about the help and support, it's good and kind, but a little bit too much. Needing to take a step back, needing to tone it down. I get that. I do understand that completely. So with Justin Roy, because look, this is about balance at the end of the day. As much as Justin has presented himself in a negative light, I'm trying to balance it out with the positives, which he's demonstrated, even though the way he's treated me at times and the things that he said, and coming back to my channel and going on to other channels to put me down and to give me a bad image and a bad name when I'm just simply trying to spread awareness. Even though some humans probably don't deserve it, I can still see the positives in other people, or at least the initial positives within someone, whether it's because there is a link, there's an understanding, a deep understanding, or it's just with common sense. At times I can apply it, right? So yeah, overstepping the mark, going above the boundaries, going above and beyond what's you're expected of in life or in a certain area. You take certain things upon yourself, but maybe you don't have to, or in some cases you shouldn't, because it might be interfering with the process, interfering with the case, interfering with anything in life. It's done from a good heart originally, but with time it can be a bit too much. So taking a step back or toning it down is needed, but within fairness, it's hard to stop when you care so much. It's hard to stop when you go full in with the focus, physically or mentally. the way you focus on in, it can be just hard to stop because you're so used to doing it. You're invested in something or someone, the case of Noah, as in someone, or any situation, that by slowing down or stopping, psychologically, it can play on the mind. Whilst it's the right thing to do, it's the healthiest thing to do for the case, for oneself, it's the concept of the inner reflection of, as a monologue, if I stop now, will they think that I don't care anymore? Whether they're alive or not, when you're thinking of someone, or like Noah Presgrove, are they watching over me? Not me, but like in Justin's mind. Psychologically speaking, in any situation like that reflection of, if I stop, whilst it's the healthiest approach, it's what's best for the case and in the moment, is it what's best for me? Realistically, yes, but emotionally, within, it feels like you're betraying that person. It feels like you're giving up on them by taking a step back, by slowing down, by not covering or spreading awareness the same way, or pushing for answers or interrogating other people. By slowing down or completely stopping, it's like you torture yourself or you blame yourself when it's not your fault and it's not the other person's fault. It's just the situation in life, the way and the unexpectedness of what's happened. But it can be like mind games. It can be where the brain betrays oneself in doubt, questioning oneself, questioning one's worth, one's ability, and who they are as a person. If they stop, they feel that they're giving up on that said person or the case. If they stop, they worry that they appear cold or they don't care about that victim, that whoever, right? And, there could be underlying lines that other people around would say, you've done enough, you care, they'd be proud of you, whatever. But on a personal level, when you stop after high performance, so used to doing something, and it can be anything, you can punish yourself. Just think of it this way. You could be exercising and working out consistently, daily, or when you have time. You got so used to doing it that it's routine. The moment you stop because of injury, because of fatigue, because of getting very busy, or just not being in the mood anymore for whatever reason in life, you stop. And the mind kind of tells itself and blames itself that, oh, you're not doing enough. Oh, you're being lazy. Oh, you don't care. Oh, you're letting it all go. It's your fault. And that inner blame and that torture within all the noise. So if a person can punish themselves or feel bad for simply taking a day off from working out, just imagine the mental load it may take for someone who stops or considers stopping, but then reflects with those inner thoughts of, if I stop, it shows I don't care. If I stop, I'm disappointing or letting down that other person. I have to keep pushing and I have to keep on trying. The individual makes it a mission upon themselves to keep on going when really they need to listen to other people for once in a while. And it's just not happened here. So, look, start, middle, end, or where we are right now, I get, I do. As in the different dynamics and the different points of views and the psychology too. Look, when I'm covering this case, as consistent as I am, I'm not emotionally connected because I don't know Noah. Noah doesn't know me. And before this case and before getting involved, I had no clue about it. So there's no connection there. But like how I said, in other ways, reflection within the community, when you're defending yourself to protect yourself and your brand and your channel, it's normal. Trying to protect other people in a case or community, like in the past, rock and a hard place. Of course, you want to defend and support other people, but then you've also got to balance it out with the case so people don't think less of you or, appear biased. It's a really tricky place, but that's tricky because you've got a role and responsibility and you not literally, but trying to please everyone or cover everyone, like my role. As for Justin, who's not a creator, but an advocate and just an individual member of the general public that tries to spread awareness and tries to get answers, but goes a bit too far at times, if they were to slow down or stop, realistically, they wouldn't be disappointing anyone or letting anyone down. They've already done more than enough in a good way within the Noah Presgrove case, excluding all the arguably negatives. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes different roles and positions, mentally it might feel like there's more to lose, or there's more self-blame, and one is very hard on themselves depending on the situation at hand and the pressure that they put upon themselves. I mean, yeah, sometimes I've done videos in the past where I've gone all in, as in, oh, last person standing, I'll be covering this case next time round, I'm the only person standing, I'm this, I'm that. I put the pressure on myself to perform next. I put the pressure on myself to keep on thinking of videos within reason. I put the pressure on myself to be consistent and to try and be as balanced as possible. But if I ever complained, it's self-inflicted, that's my fault. If I ever felt there was too much pressure in a case or trying to cover the different viewpoints and angles, that's my fault, because I'm the one that said it all about being balanced and about having the most depth. If I say I have the most depth beyond other people, I'm the most understanding or the most patient person upon this earth, okay, maybe I've said that in the past because I felt it and I believed in it within myself, besides other things which I might be hard on myself for. It adds to that pressure and that weight to maintain that. What you said is the image of what other people will get, and that's what they'll expect. I'm not saying that other people are shallow, but, you know, what do you call it, overpromise or sell something in such a light that people will have that expectation that's how it's going to be. So you got to perform, and if you don't perform, you basically overpromise, underdeliver. So there can be a pressure to be on it, be active, be consistent, but that is all down to myself. It's self-inflicted. If I didn't want that pressure, I should have kept my mouth shut to begin with. If I ever talked about myself, if I didn't want it, I should have kept my mouth shut. So I can at least acknowledge that I have been able to perform, I have been able to deliver, just as a heads up, my opinion at least. But other people within the case community and elsewhere, when they're doing stuff, acting and behaving the way they are, some of these people complain, and they've got the cheek to complain, whether it be, why are you making me out to be such a bad person? Why are you making me look so disrespected? Why are you making me look like an evil individual? But look, that's the thing. You can't complain when you've done it to yourself, right? You can't complain. It's self-inflicted. You should have acted better. You should have behaved better. You should have used better language and wording and communication and stated if it was your opinion or not, and stated exactly where it came from with a source provided, and not using the source afterwards when you're caught out in it and you try and save your face and yourself by choosing the easy way out and saying, it's not me, it's you, it's not me, it came from over there. Playing the blame game. Only doing it to protect yourself. Didn't consider it before, only when you got to save yourself. Oh, the reflexes kick in. Oh, the memory kicks in. Oh, now it does. Oh, it's selective. Convenient, I would say. You know what I'm saying? So some things in life, some things in cases, it's self-inflicted. And other times, it's not. Sometimes it's a mixture of the inner mind, the inner framework, and the conflict within. Trying to cover a case, trying to be an advocate. Would I say I'm an advocate? No. I'm just a person that's covering cases because I'm interested and I do what I can. Whether what I do is enough or not, it's just done within reason, and yeah. So, I mean, there's other people that do this, maybe not quite this case, but other cases out there. The channel or myself, not perfect. Can be a bit raw, the videos, and maybe the editing quality is a bit bit boring, but in regard to just doing it and trying to go deep, trying to cover everything, that's what I try and do. But the aims, the attempts, and the effort is what counts. But going beyond, especially when other people say, nah, I don't like what you're doing, or on behalf, I hate how they're bugging you, like how Anthony said. Oh, he's been contacting me before. Oh, he's very busy, plays a role, lots of comments all over the place. It's just not a good look. Like, with me, when I've covered the case or previous cases, the feedback has been positive or neutral, and I can get a bit more into that later because it's not all about me. We're focusing on the Roy files right now. So that was just a little taster. Right? I know we're 41 minutes in, but that was just a little taster, as in, you know, what some of the police, Caden, had to say and think about Justin Roy. And it wasn't exactly positive. But if that's not definitive enough, don't worry, we've got some more screenshots. Well, actually, we've actually got screenshots to get through, which we're going to get into right now. So don't go anywhere. Let's move on. Here we are. So I just want to say shout out to anyone that's still watching right now or watching in the background. And it's a long one, but I just want to outline everything as clearly as possible, you know, to give those disclaimers as we go along. What you're looking at right now is a Facebook group message conversation called #Justice for Noah. The only reason why I'm sharing this one with you is to prove that Justin is behind it. Justin conversation with Zachary Wright. And for context, Justin is in the blue, Zach is in the grey. So when we look at these ones, you get the idea, okay, as in where it's coming from. And this particular one, I just zoom in, this was the September 27th, 2023. Justin said to Zach, Noah rode with Gage Jessen to the party in regard to Sunday when returning back. So I'm not sure why Caleb said they went to Love's, as in a store, a shop. That's weird to me. And just this whole post seems off. Also, several kids are trying to change their story, saying they were there Saturday, not Sunday, trying to get away from being anywhere near Noah's death. Do you think someone is telling them to say that? Travis Monson claims he wasn't there, but there's videos of him there on Sunday. Well, I'd like to know what Justin is referring to there, because I've yet to see a single video that shows Travis Monson there Sunday. The only piece of public material that we have is a photo posted Sunday by Travis Monson on his Facebook profile, but the very photo that was taken and updated to his profile pic was of the bathroom at the party house, and it was actually taken the day before, Saturday, because I think there's an original photo that gives the original day. But when it was uploaded as a profile picture, it was the following day, so that's where the misunderstanding was. But what is Justin going on about, as in videos of Travis present? And let's make one thing very clear, it was Caden Pressey, at one point at least, that made a reference. Back in 2023 onwards, the Facebook Messenger conversations, despite what he may have said in that police interview 2024, which was a bit of a disaster in trying to understand, interpreted as Sunday night going into Monday morning, when a skinny guy, Travis Monson and Colton Newton returned back to the party, when in actual fact, Caden, at the very start, in 2023, Facebook Messenger had said, Saturday, Travis Monson, Colton were at the party. Travis made the girls feel uncomfortable, was rude with words and swearing or so, and picking them up, physically, putting them on a countertop. That they left. They also stole alcohol. They returned back later on that Saturday, as Caden mentioned. He heard the engine sound as it showed back up, and Jack told them to leave because of stealing the alcohol earlier. So they left and never returned back. So, you know, this conversation may have been at a time when Justin didn't know the context, so you can't blame Justin for that. But just want to give a bit of a backstory behind what we've learned with time and what we know of. Zachary Wright, a part of the police, had said, send me the videos of Travis there if he was there on Sunday. And Justin says, that should be in your email, but didn't you get the same videos off the phones you downloaded from other interviews? And then Justin supposedly says, crazy, he wants me to do his job. Right, so is this the justification behind Justin pushing so heavily in the case? Because his reasoning is the police aren't doing their job. It feels as if they want me to do their job, or I've got no choice but to do it because no one else cares enough, so that's why I'll do it. I get it. Taking on that responsibility because you think other people are failing that one individual. I do get that, psychologically speaking, if you care about an individual or know of someone, and then you hear about others, agencies, groups, professionals, whoever, that aren't doing their job properly or aren't doing enough for that one person, you take it upon yourself because you feel you know you can do more, or you want to, and you're capable and you're willing. So it adds a bit of a justification behind it. But is everyone all the same though? No. And all Zach is saying is just send me the videos of him. Send the videos. Okay, could Zach do it himself through the phones? And that's the thing, it depends which phones have the videos on. If the phones that have the videos on are from partygoers that were there only Saturday, and not, or there Sunday but not there Monday, and had left in between, they weren't questioned originally, and the phones weren't handed in originally, but all the others were, the ones of interest, you're not going to have it, are you? So you might need to get in other ways. There are alternatives. But let me just go back to this. There are kids that are changing their story, saying they were there Saturday, not Sunday, trying to get away with being anywhere near Noah's death. Well, the thing is, Justin, Noah didn't die Sunday. Noah died Monday onwards. So even if people were there Sunday, it's not directly linked to Noah's death. Someone could be there Sunday and they could be there past midnight 0000 Monday morning. And then if they had left by that point and never came back, they're irrelevant to the case of Noah's death. Noah was there up to a certain point in time, wasn't he? Maybe around 2 a.m, maybe closer to 3 a.m, and at some point he supposedly walked away. Maybe not from the property, but supposedly from the party house. There's got to be at least a little bit of agreement and leeway, as in up to a certain time on Monday, Noah was at the party and was alive. And anyone that was there before that and had left before and never come back, they're not linked to Noah's death. So you could be there Sunday. You could be there early Monday morning. You could be there at the round time of when Georgia was throwing up. And then just around 2 a.m, or just before 2 a.m, when Georgia and Breeley left the party house, had they been tied in with Noah's death 100%, as in they're responsible? No, not really. And they left before Noah. They left before Noah's death. So anyone else that was there before, or claimed that they were there on this day, but no, it changed to a day before, it shouldn't matter too much if it's before the time of Noah's death. Is when people are present at the time of Noah's death and then they try wiggle their way out, just like the way Justin wiggles his way out, like a little wiggly worm, when it came to, spreading or relaying incorrect information, finding out it's incorrect after, didn't give the source originally, and only gives credit to the very person when caught out and called out, trying to protect oneself, throwing someone else under the bus. I see it. So once again, Noah died Monday onwards, not Sunday. So if people were there Saturday, if people were there Sunday, then changed it to Saturday, it shouldn't really matter. It shouldn't be that suspicious. If you used to say there were people that were originally there Monday around the time when Noah walked off, but then they changed it to they were never there, they were there a day before that, that would be suspicious. So Justin's language and wording is actually crap. Justin's language and wording with police is still incompetent, just like how it is on Facebook. It's not changed. That's not good whatsoever. And then this one, I believe Justin, do you think murder or accident? Either way, there was a cover-up that happened in both scenarios. Now, remember the police, Zachary. What does Zachary Wright say? Oops. Click that just for a second. He says, "You're really doing nothing, Justin, but making this harder." I mean, that says a lot already, doesn't it? You're really doing nothing. So when Justin pushes and pushes, as in what he does, what he can, if he ever put anyone else down or questioned anyone else, you've got members of the police directly telling Justin, you're doing nothing, but you're making it harder. And when it comes to a case, when it comes to a crime, when it comes to anything, which is already difficult and hard, if a person comes on in and makes it harder, that's not a good advocate, that's not a good role model, is it? It's not a good look. So it appears, from what Zachary Wright was saying at the time, that Justin was making it harder for the police. When's the last time we've seen that where it's been made harder for the police? Idaho 4 case, Brian Koberger, because of some members of the general public, some people online and how they went about things. Anyway, Zachary says, if there was a cover-up between those kids, they're doing a very good job. There is no cover-up by law enforcement or anyone being paid off. Frankly, you saying I'm friends with people down there and I'm being paid off is disrespectful. You say we need new eyes on the case all over social media, but what you don't know is several agencies and eyes are working around the clock on this case. I have several other ones that require my attention as well. If you don't know something, maybe it's best just not say anything at all instead of spreading misinformation. So Justin Roy got put in his place by Zachary Wright. The police, the professionals, the authorities had said to Justin that all you're doing is making the case harder. You're making false claims about me, Zachary Wright, being paid off and being friends with party goers and whatnot when it's not the actual truth. And all you're doing is spreading misinformation. I'm sorry, but when the police in general in life, when the police tell you that you're spreading misinformation, that is not a good look if you're appearing as an advocate for justice. It seems like you're causing more problems than what it's worth. But it just goes to show the audacity that Justin Roy has. Okay, he calls members of the general public out for being paid off, for being the cover-up crew, supporting those that do know of something. In recent time, Brenda Goodfellow was the recent individual that got falsely labelled and attacked by Justin and other people in the background on other Facebook pages like the Army page. Deep dives into Brenda, trying to find links with her and partygoers and partygoers' family of family and all of that. Pushing hard. And what? Because Brenda doesn't agree with something, has her own thoughts and opinions, thinks different, because Brenda takes the time to question and other times doesn't always say what she thinks out loud, keeps it within and goes along with that. That what makes them a bad person, makes them, because they think different, a part of the cover-up. Well, in the eyes of Justin, that's how it appears to be. And whilst it can be shocking and there's a lack of evidence and it's very reckless behaviour, the one area you wouldn't think a person would go about, as in mislabelling or being slanderous, supposedly, would be the police who are actually participating in the case. Of all people you go after or attack or question directly, the police. Because you could get in trouble, of course. There could be some legal issues. So at times when Justin has the cheek to say, right, I've had enough of you, with these false labels, slanderous claim, defamation, I'm going to do you, I'm going to report you. Justin, you've been slanderous towards the police based on this. Are you in a position to be talking? It just doesn't look good, does it? Not at all. Of all people you could label and question and make bold claims that you're paid off or you're a part of something, and the police have to respond back, as in Zachary Wright says, that's not true. Whether it's true or not, the way things have gone about, it just doesn't look good. Now, in fairness, you could argue and say maybe Justin didn't directly say it to Zach's face, but Zach found out about it through a social media post online. Still, it's talking about someone and it's talking about an important group of people in which if you do mess up or if you do get it wrong, they could take action against you. So instead of claiming to take action or threaten to take action against other members of the general public, think long and hard about yourself and what you've done previously to get the likes of the police to call you out, Justin, as in spreading misinformation, as in making the case harder. Anyone watching right now, do you honestly think an advocate for Noah would be doing this and to get this type of response? Really? It's crazy. Now, we don't stop there. Bit of a clearer one. Zach, on the left, if you would monitor that page of yours, I guess as in the Army page or so, my family and I would greatly appreciate it. People posting pictures of my family is uncalled for. Actually, all of the way I've been treated is uncalled for. I don't deserve it, and my family definitely doesn't deserve it. So supposedly Justin Roy at some point had falsely labelled or accused Zachary Wright, a part of the police, being paid off and friends with some of the party goes to the dark side. And on top of that, the very page that Justin is a part of or tied to at some point by other people on that page were known for posting photos of Zach's family and whatnot, personal photos. I mean, out of everyone you could target, again, the police, look, even if there is injustice or something, I mean, going about it the way people do, it just seems very bold and reckless. Like, you could get in trouble for it, but people don't seem to care. Oh, but they do care when it's a member of the general public that questions them, and they're like, oh, I'll take action. Yeah, but you've done it yourself, or you've allowed it yourself indirectly elsewhere. Oh, it's the police. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, but it's your personal image. It does matter. Sounds very selective, that, doesn't it? Now, Justin's typical response, bro. Oh, no. Bro, she was kicked out of the page. She, as in a member of the general public, some woman, okay, that did it. It wasn't Justin, it was someone else. And Justin basically says they were kicked. But he also says, I have no idea where she got that from, so I apologise, bro. Very uncalled for. But it's that thing, isn't it? An advocate for justice for Noah is allowing people like that onto that page. Now, think of it this way. Previously, and it wasn't what I said, it's what other people said on Reddit about Melissa LeQuay, another advocate for Noah, an individual on the sideline that was arrested for attacking a police officer, trying to run people off the road on the highway, trying to run people down at a house, homeowners, destroying a property, either on drugs or so. A mess. Not directly to do with Noah, but they claim to be an advocate for Noah, and yet they're a mess, and they're like that. They're not a stable person to be an advocate. They're not a good role model. They might have their own issues, of course. They might need to focus more on that than the focus on the case. Focus on themselves before they focus on the case, because they can be a danger within the community, a danger locally, and it's not a good look. But people on Reddit said, oh, Melissa LeQuay on the army page. I never said that in my own words. I even questioned and doubted it because I didn't see any evidence. Justin Roy ran with out-of-context screenshot of a transcript, part of my video, couldn't be bothered to watch all of my video, typical behaviour that, tunnel vision, selective, biasness, and decided to either kick me personally or get someone to remove me from the army page. And it's been like that since. All because I read a comment out and they somehow claimed I was saying it when I wasn't. But that's the thing. Okay, Melissa LeQuay, an advocate, wasn't a part of the army page. But guess what? This other woman, unknown individual, was. This other woman went after Zachary Wright's family and posted photos online in an unusual way. Whilst Justin may have been completely oblivious to it, as he claims, it's the fact that you let people in like that. And of course, you don't know everyone. You're not going to do background checks completely. But surely you've got to be careful and cautious who you let in on your page or community, or you just let anyone in. What does that say about yourself? What does it say about your own standards, exactly? So it's okay saying, bro, oh, sorry, apologise, oh, I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. You still let the person in, you allowed them present, and so on. And yeah, you got freedom of speech. You got to acknowledge that too, in a way. But within reason, just like how it is on YouTube, you can say stuff and defend yourself as well. But that's the thing. YouTube, you don't let people in. People come whether you like it or not. People watch your videos whether you like it or not. I have no control over who watches my videos. It's a public platform. But you do have power. You do have control when it comes to Facebook, private pages and groups, who you let in and who you accept and who you kick out. I can't do anything on YouTube. That's just how it is for all creators. It's an open platform. So I just thought I'd add that in before anyone tried countering me. Now, another part of conversation. Zoom in just a little bit. Zach said, send me the videos of him there if he was there Sunday. So that's from the earlier screenshot what we looked at where Justin said, oh, he wants me to do his job. Justin says they should be on your email. I thought you interviewed him and got his phone also. Zach says, We are still sorting through data on the phones, and I'm waiting for some phones back. I haven't got any videos in my email. They are probably too big. And that is understandable, because when it comes to emailing, you can send photos, but sometimes photos, high quality pixel ones, don't even send either. So you think of a video, likely not to send. If it's 10, 15 seconds, maybe it might work, but it depends on the quality of the video, the file size. If it's too big, you can't send it, so you'll have to Dropbox it, Air Share or something, or Google Drive, OneDrive, the cloud. You've got to do it that way. And in some cases, you've got to pay to send bigger data files. So there are restrictions. Other times, the easiest thing to do is actually hand in the physical evidence or to share it firsthand if you've got it. So it looks like there's a breakdown in communication here. Justin may be like, oh, you expect me to do your job for you. But then in defense, Zachary could be like, well, you know, the stuff that you're sending just isn't coming through. What can we do about that? There can be a technology limit, restrictions around it, and file size. Just like how there can be poor connection, poor internet, no Wi-Fi. Crazy, isn't it? I'm trying to communicate, trying to, I don't know, talk about the case or something, and then the connection dies. And it's like, no. So, shit happens. What happens next to them? Now, Zach says, I don't think you understand how much we have to swift through. If you have something relevant, give it to me. If not, quit asking me questions about the investigation. And again, let me do what I do, please. Says a lot, doesn't it? It comes across that Justin is overbearing, pushing beyond the boundaries, either demanding or asking too much when the police are busy and trying to do what they can. And it's not just Zachary Wright, because as we saw before, Anthony Linares had said similar things. Posting a lot, doing a lot, trying to be like us, but also using inaccurate information to fill a jigsaw which they don't have all the pieces too. So different police people think negatively of Justin because of the overbearing behaviour, the pushiness, and asking too much and demanding as well. So is this what a good advocate looks like? You let me know. Okay? So, moving on. We've got this one here. What's this one? And so screenshot showed, which could be Jack Newton, possibly. Jack and Justin. And who were the Texas boys, though? Like Pepper, Dylan, and Alexis, and maybe one or two more. That's why they brought the FBI in to get them Texas boys. Okay, well, I don't know if that is Jack Newton or not, because the profile picture is tiny. But I've never heard the name of Dylan or Alexis. As for Pepper, Pepper what? Pepper the pig? No. I'm wondering, Pepper, they meant to say Pepe, as in Pepe Guam. You know, the one we've seen last few months ago. What was it? Was it 2:32 a.m. Pepe Guam outside front of the party house? Traffic barrel, cone, Mikey Lair supposedly underneath it, laughing, joking. So that could be a reference there, just the pronunciation of the name. But to say that's why they brought the FBI in, to get them Texas boys. Right, well, onwards, Robin Smith had said, from what she was told by police, I think, or told by someone Robin had mentioned, 5 Texas boys were cleared. So what does that say? And as for the FBI, they've always been waiting to assist, not getting involved. And then, what else? I got to go. We got to wait for the examiner report, for sure. Find that white car, in my opinion. Find the Texas boys. Have they been found yet? But they already pulled their phones and everything. Yes, they have. Okay. Pepe from Texas is definitely involved. How do we know that? Have you found him from St. Joe or Nocona? Pepe is definitely involved. Why was singling out Pepe Guam? We've only seen one footage of Pepe Guam, and that was playing with Mikey Lair with that traffic barrel. That's all we know of publicly. Anyone else suspicious of Pepe? I mean, in fairness, I'm wondering, I'm not too confident at this point, but Caden Pressey in 2023 circled Pepe Graham in a photo and said, I've got bad feelings about Pepe. Didn't acknowledge the name though, but based on the visual description and the particular person circled, it definitely appeared to be Pepe Graham. Okay, the other person suggested it as well in their thoughts individually. So Caden Pressey indirectly circling out Pepe Graham in a post, private messenger, 2023 Facebook, and said, this guy, don't trust him. Got bad feelings about him then and now. So if Caden had suspicion or bad feelings about Pepe Graham, I'm wondering if Justin Roy was influenced by it and just went along with it, even though he wasn't actually there, as in Justin, but just took someone else's words or thoughts. You never know. But Zach had said in response, brother, I don't want to sound like a... but unless you have something concrete and credible, let me do my job. I have too much going to respond to the text all day. So busy. So, I mean, you know, Zachary's like, right, okay, I've got to tone it down. I don't want to be rude, but, you know, when you've got something concrete, something of value and worth, and not just pettiness or drama or non-evidence, when you've got something real and meaningful, then share it with me. In the meantime, let me do my job. And what does Justin say? Copy. By the way, did you interview Shandon? He's just told you to take a step back. And the next thing that you do is ask another question. Look, I remember Noah Presgrove Case community, and even before that, where we've had the odd problematic viewer, the odd individual, maybe like Cleo, and they've acted the way they have, misbehaved, been disrespectful, been rude to me, and I said, right, can we simmer down? Can we not talk about that? Can we, you know, keep things above board, as in focus on the case and less about me, focus on the case and less about someone else with respect to them. You know, Cleo, stop being the way you are. It's not healthy. It's not doing much good. And they'd be like, okay. Anyway, Raf, what are you doing? Why are you hiding someone under your bed? What are you doing? So, what? Just let me do what I do and feel free to listen along. But, you know, the moment there's that apology or, okay, I won't do it now. Oh, okay, I'll change. Seconds later, they go back to it. Just like how it is here. Police guy says, can you step back? Can you slow down? Quite busy, a lot going on. And Justin says, copy. Copy, bro. I understand. Yeah. By the way, how about Shandon? Did you interview Shandon? Did you interview this? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you not listen to a word that Zachary Wright said, Justin? Because it seems to be a lack of respect. Not respecting the wishes of the police that say that they're busy or they're trying to do stuff, but you're getting in the way. And Justin acknowledges and seconds later responds back with a follow-up and more. You know, she knows everything and is ready to talk. I'm sorry, what? How would Shandon Johnson know everything when she was only there Saturday and there was no hard evidence whatsoever publicly of it being there Sunday or Monday whatsoever? This is problematic. Might be what they believed at the time and it wasn't the absolute truth. But saying it to the police directly and wording it like a fact, it's bad enough. Wording opinions and thoughts and theories and speculation, publicly masking it with fact when it's not. But doing it with the police firsthand, once again, it's dangerous. It's reckless. That doesn't do much good. Or giving potential false leads, giving the police information to work with and then opening up new leads, which may lead to wasted time where they should be focusing in other areas in the case. Shandon Johnson, she knows everything. How does she know everything when she was only there Saturday? Unless she was a mystery partygoer onwards. But is Shandon Johnson in the wrongful death lawsuit, as Justin would push? If someone's not in the wrongful death lawsuit, then they must be innocent. Well, Shandon Johnson isn't in the wrongful death lawsuit. So she's not involved there, and she can't be that much of a person of interest if she's not even been included or mentioned ever since, officially or so. So why would Shandon know everything? And what would she actually know? This is crazy. That's reckless. Oh, look what we've got here. That's Travis Monson. I believe the image is from his point of view, but a mirror selfie, hence the reflection. That photo was uploaded to Travis's Facebook profile picture on the Sunday, but the photo was taken on the Saturday, and the top what he's wearing, you could see it on a Saturday when Noah was posing in the beige khaki shorts, with him being in the background in the lounge or living room. Now, was he at the tournament? At the tournament? What's this, Joyce Begow and cornhole? Is Zachary Wright playing cornhole with Joyce Begow? Oh God, I shouldn't have said that. That's going to start a new lead and a conspiracy off with Justin Roy digging deep. Sorry, Joyce. Sorry. Anyway, meant to say party. And Justin said yes from Comanche. Rumour has it he loaded Noah's body in the back of a truck to be moved. Him and Brylan Sweat. Now, a rumour, and Justin makes that clear. Being honest, okay, but what good does a rumour do when you don't have the concrete evidence? Hence why Zachary was like, come on, when you got something concrete, come back. If not, stay away. And look at what we've got here. A rumour. That's not good enough. But to be calling out, Travis Monson, based on what Caden Pressey said, was there Saturday, did not return back Sunday or Monday. So really, Travis is like Shandon Johnson, not involved from the looks of it. And yet Justin has other beliefs from what he's heard from Comanche. That Travis loaded Noah's body in the back of a truck to be moved and Brylan Sweat helped. If Brylan Sweat helped, really, how was he able to keep it together then when with Caden Pressey at the highway onwards, supposedly? How did he not completely break down? Yeah, a rumour, and that's all it may have ever been, but still, you can imagine how something like this could have been worded differently elsewhere by others, and Chinese whispers, it turned into a fact. A rumour can turn into a fact without any evidence because of shit language and wording and poor communication. But this is like not the true origins, because the rumour came from somewhere which credit hasn't been given to, or the providence and source, which you would expect to give if you're sharing it with the police to cover your own back, and yet Justin did not. However, Zachary says, I don't think that Brylan Sweat did. And Justin, was he asleep all night with Jack too? Asleep with Jack? What's Justin suggesting there? That Jack was sleeping in a bed with bloody Brylan Sweat and Carter Combs, free in a bed? What? Now, okay, based on what Caden said, Caden was resting, then went to sleep 2 a.m. onwards, and Brylan, Isaac and Mikey were all resting as well, whether they truly went to sleep or not, or were simply resting. That should be enough, right? But it's crazy. Okay, you're saying a rumour because you don't have all the facts, but it's just the conversation, the flow of it. You word it with a bit of certainty. The rumour has it that Travis had loaded Noah's body up to the back of the truck to be moved. But by the way, Brylan Sweat assisted as well. And then the police who weren't there, right, and just working with what they've got, what they know of, and say, well, I don't think Brylan Sweat did it. And then Justin is like, oh, was he asleep all night then? Well, it's like 2 people talking about it who weren't even there. And Justin is the one that says, well, I've heard from these party goers and I've heard from this and that person. Well, you should know, Justin. But then again, if the conversations came about later and this was earlier, they wouldn't have known. In defence of the police, well, Zachary may have not known everything either at the time. Depends on the progression and what's been learned at that moment. May have still been in the dark about it. But to say, going from a rumour with a little bit of intrigue, and rumour has it that Brylan assisted too, and then the response is, well, I don't think he did. And then Justin's like, oh, was he asleep? Well, if you don't know, should you be saying that rumour to begin with? Something so reckless and damaging which could harm someone or make someone look bad and involved, and it could tie in with criminal charges, and then you end up backtracking saying, oh, was he asleep or something? Oh, it's just reckless. Not good. Continuing on. Oh, not again. Copy. By the way, how did Caleb get to the crime scene that morning? By a vehicle? Did he drive from Comanche or was he already there? Could we check the phone records on that pinpoint location? Could we? Do you see the self-entitlement by Justin Roy? Not could you, or have you, or is it possible? But no, can we? Can we together as a team? Me, Justin, member of the general public, you part of the police. We're pretty much the same people. We're cut from the same whatever, same cloth. We do the same thing. We're pretty much bros at this point. So yeah, can we get this information out? It's like a conversation between two best friends, but that's an unusual dynamic when you got a police person and then Justin. Well, Zach says, bro, I've been doing this a long time. I know what I'm doing, lol. I'll be honest with you, that type of communication is very casual. I mean, everyone's got their own way of communicating, but if you read this quick, it would sound like two friends talking with each other, doesn't it? That... what do you call it? Casual communication. It's not quite professional in my opinion, but I guess people do things differently over there. Then he says, just trust me. If you have anything solid, let me know. But the details, this isn't my first rodeo. And then Justin's like, copy, I understand. By the way, didn't mean to insult you. I just know you are extremely busy with all kinds of stuff and other cases. I'm just helping with stuff that may have been missed. Personally, I think we all know what happened. Oh, do we? Just trying to prove it. It's obviously the hard part. And with Caleb and Reno following up with everyone to make sure they don't talk. Oh, really? So basically what you're saying, Justin, at the time, we all know what happened. And, the police know what happened as well. We're all in the same boat. We all know the actual truth. We're just trying to find the evidence. Oh, so you've already made your mind up, Justin. Oh, your tunnel vision. You're not considering anything else. You're just locked in with one idea and belief. Oh, and you expect the police to do the same thing. Oh, you expect professionals and other roles which aren't supposed to be biased and have to look at it from all angles and innocent, proven until guilty, that type of line. Oh no, we're supposed to already know and make our minds up before the case has truly ended. Oh, we're supposed to get all the evidence to push that specific narrative and belief what Justin has, which he believes the police know as well, to push it one way and to neglect everything else. So indirectly, Justin Roy is trying to influence the police in being biased. And it was Justin and other people, the few, to say that police at times are corrupt or covering up. Justin, it seems like you're corrupting the police based on your predetermined thoughts. It sounds like you, Justin, are trying to negatively influence the police in thinking one way and disregarding everything else. That's not good. That's really not good. Wow. It's like going into a room where there's a psychologist and telling them, we all know what's up with that person. We know what's wrong. Let's get over and done with. It doesn't work like that. There is a procedure to it all. There is a structure. There is a format. There is a report to be built. And then for and against, it's not that simple. It can be very complex. You jump on in like a bull in a china shop and expect someone else to think the way you do. Like a little nudge. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We all know the real truth. Do we? Really? Is it not worth considering anything else in between? Is it not worth getting a full deck of cards and laying it out all on the table to get a true definitive answer? Isn't that better than just dealing with a few cards and just rolling with that? Well, it seems like with Justin Roy, we don't need too much evidence. We can just roll with it. Oh my goodness. Negatively influencing the police when the same people were labelling the police as corrupt when you were corrupting or trying to indirectly corrupt the minds of the police. Terrible. And no, it's not just the police that are sick and tired with Justin, or were at some point. Ashley Chadwick did call Justin Roy out. She said, Ashley is Noah's cousin, by the way. Justin Roy, it seems as if you continue to fail to look into the mirror. One does not need to fabricate fake accounts to slander or harass people. You, Justin, were a huge part of the slander and manipulation. The continuous times of inboxing people, despite what you were directed to stop doing, it continued. Disrespecting the wishes, not only towards me, but to others, including my family. allowing people to constantly attack us, similar to Justin's page in which people were attacking Zachary Wright and his family. Not a good look, is it? You did nothing, specifically to this claim, at least. It appears you encouraged it with your two-sided stories, excuses. No apology can fix the behaviour you did and allowed others to do. Furthermore, the people you have brought into this now inserted themselves that have indeed needed to back off. Additionally, have slandered others towards the ones we speak to and have brought into our circle. Additionally, I am beyond sick and tired of this projecting Justin, this behaviour of playing the victim and finger pointing. You, Justin, have reached out to certain family members to give your lame apology only because it was directed by someone else for you to do so. Wasn't by your own accord, thought process of doing so. It continues on with a bit more, I think. Justin, yeah, this tends to always circle back to you. Did I get manipulated by a few people? Yes, I did. I think we all did to some extent, Justin, and I tried to make it right. I know, that's the quotes by Justin. I think we all did it to some extent and tried to make it right. Anyway, Ashley says, oh, Justin, it's comical how you go back and edit your comments. Oh, wow. Ashley Chadwick, back in 2024 or so. Ashley Chadwick was calling Justin Roy out for editing his comments, the same way Justin has edited his comments a few months back when he was stating some misinformation and then he corrected it by saying, oh, I heard it from someone else. Oh, it's not the first time. Right, so Justin has been called out more than once and by Noah's family. Comical how you go back and edit your comments to add this moronic apology. And then state y'all asked you to do so. So Justin, when called out or the heat is on him, he wiggles his way out, thinks of an excuse, thinks of an answer, always has an answer, and puts the blame on someone else or the responsibilities, or, well, you told me, or it wasn't my fault, or that other person's to blame, not taking accountability. And Ashley has had enough. So I'm unsure of whom y'all is you referring to. I certainly did not need you, Justin, to do one thing, other than give information you may have or obtained through the process, no different than what we have stated to anyone else, as well as we all have been preaching this very thing about. One thing I'm not going to do with you is continue to go back and forth with you. I want to be clear that I don't usually engage with you due to the significant anxiety your behaviour has caused me in the past. Protecting my well-being and peace is priority for me right now. However, in good fashion, you came here to target someone else. Whether this person is or isn't fake, you don't get to suggest who is or isn't banned from this page. Oh, so Justin coming in with high entitlement. This page, I'm guessing the Justice one, the family run page, and Justin is demanding for answers again. But I think what's most significant is that Ashley Chadwick, the cousin to Noah Presgrove, has said, Justin, due to your behaviour and actions, you have caused me significant anxiety because of your behaviour and what it's caused me in the past. So Justin has impacted another person's mental health. Of all people, you could impact someone's mental health, Justin. You decide to indirectly do it towards one of Noah's family members. I mean, how incompetent could you be based on this? The one thing you don't do in a case is cause more problems, especially to the victim's family. The next thing you don't do in a case is add more problems and make it harder for the police to solve. And Justin has appeared to tick both boxes. This is beyond bad. And then a bit more going on here. Justin says to Dave Collings, or Dave Collings is really George Choden. Who the hell's Dave? Y'all should probably ban him. He's crazy and will dox all of you. Oh, just like that. Renee, is this Dave guy from Ryan? Justin, no, he's a fake account, but they all use it. Oh, fake account again. Ashley Chadwick said to Justin, Don't act like you wear a halo. Let's not forget the hell of anxiety and shit you have done. Wow. That's Justin called out there. Now, moving on. Bit of backstory here before we get onto the next page. Justin, Army page, they said they had screenshots of my son. That's not true. We have a big family and it's obviously split. We were at a family gathering and Renee Milan and Jasmine Milan and their family didn't attend because I was there. Wow, that's not good, is it? My daughter has a big heart and wanted us to be together like we used to. She don't understand everything to do with Noah's case. And I don't tell her everything. She just wanted us all to be together at some event. But you see how they flip-flop and manipulate it like I'm the bad guy here? How vile can you be? Our family has stated that Jasmine has had mental health issues. Justin, should you be disclosing that publicly with a private struggle and issue that Jasmine may be having at some point in the past? Is it your business to put online publicly about someone's issues there? Because I'm sure there was another time where it said about ending one's own life or trying to. Anyway, and my daughter felt bad and reached out to her. Seems they want to release screenshots but don't like the truth behind them. The truth about what happened to Noah, obviously heavy on her heart, and the truth will set her free. I have no ill will towards anyone. I just want to know exactly what happened to Noah. And it's what, it's you in knowing what you want to know what happened to Noah that causes that tension with other people, that friction. Your passion, your push, your desire causes that friction with other people, causes that breakdown in communication, causes those bridges to be burnt down. Your passion and push onwards looks to be have caused a split between this family of family, interpersonal connection. That's why the Milan family couldn't show up, because of Justin, as he said, because of me. Because of me, because of you. So what, you're admitting that you're technically a part of the problem or the reason behind this split? That's not good. But with context to that, Hayley, which was Justin's daughter, and this was made public at the time, just so you know, publicly available on Facebook pages. Before me, people was posting it. Justin's daughter reached out to Jasmine Milan and said, hey, I just wanted to apologise for my dad, Justin, and anything he has done. Jasmine says, you're okay, it's not your fault, you don't have to apologise for his doings. Hayley, okay, I just didn't want y'all to hate me. So basically, Justin's daughter has done nothing wrong, but when you've got a person's daughter or someone that apologises on behalf of you, even if you weren't aware of it, it's a bit of a low, isn't it, in a way? It's not a good look. That one's own daughter has to apologise for her father's behaviour, partially to do with the Noah Presgrove case and community, and causing an inner family or an extended family, a family of family split divide, kind of like similar maybe with Caden Pressey parting ways with other friends and parting ways. So it shows how cases and communities can pull people apart, directly within the case or technically a part of the case in a way, through certain connections. It shows how families, connections can be torn apart because of disagreements, because of tension, because of drama, because of conflict. And supposedly Justin is saying, unfortunately, that's what's happened. And Hayley doesn't know the full truth of everything, and she's just apologising, being a good person, understandable, but indirectly being dragged into it. Messy time, but it just shows what people think of Justin in a way, right? And let's not forget this one. Justin Roy, this is crazy. Going to try to pay to get that video. A video of what exactly? Wow. How do you get those screenshots? Do you know this person? And Justin says it was Noah's real girlfriend that he was with Sunday morning and afternoon before Jack begged him to come out to the party. Let's just make one thing very clear. Justin was pushing that idea for some time about Jack begging Noah back, and then later it turned out that there was no proof of Jack begging Noah to do anything, and Justin updated it and said, oh bro, it was wrong information. Right, there we go. But anyway, Justin says, she's been silently helping. I offered her $500 if she could get that video. Told her to act like she was mad at Noah and wanted him to get beat up. Sad, but hope it works. What? What? Let's just process this to begin with. Who is Justin actually paying off? Because isn't this ironic? Justin was, in recent time, this is an old conversation, just so you know, but in recent time onwards, Justin has been going on and on about Warlight Raff getting paid off, getting handouts, deep pockets. Anyone that disagrees with Justin or Caden is being paid off, money talks. Justin saying, because of me, I'm letting you, Raff, get lots of money because of my name and myself. It's all because of me. All about the money, 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 money. Oh, but what's this? Justin Roy was trying to pay someone off. The irony. Oh my goodness, isn't that typical? Justin goes on about other people being paid off when Justin was doing the very same thing. Okay, the supposed reason and motive was different, but it's the attitude and what a person has to do to get results. Money talks. So if Justin ever used that line to other people, well, look, Justin, you've had to do it yourself or attempt it. This is crazy. And depending on the situation, you could actually endanger someone's life, depending. If you believe that there may be murder or darkness or foul play, and you're getting a girl, a woman, whatever the age, of all people, a girl to have to, risk their life or risk their reputation or connections with people just to get material? Are you getting paid? Is that money worth it if your life is at risk? Does Justin take in consideration the ethics of what's being done here and considered? Is Justin considering the safeguarding of that woman, that girl that may have to jump through loops and deceive others to get a hold of information from the very killers, supposedly? And if backfired, if caught out, what? Are they going to be silenced and killed if they get caught? If their cover's blown? What's Justin going to do for that girl? Oh, here's $500. Oh, you can't spend it now because you're dead. I mean, this is not a good look. But there seems to be a bit more above, but this is all we have at this moment. If there's any updates, it can be provided. But going to try to pay to get that video of what exactly? To say it was Noah's real girlfriend that he was with Sunday morning and afternoon. She's been silently helping. To say that Noah's girlfriend and then to say she's been helping. Is this Nevaeh or is it the other girl? There was two different ones in regard to Noah Presgrove. One was a previous girlfriend and one was a current girlfriend at the time of when Noah was at the party. You know what I'm saying? One was called Nevaeh, the other one was called something else. And one of which was of a younger age. But it looks like Noah's real girlfriend at the time when Noah was at the party, when it came to Sunday, coming back from the breakfast, going back home, hanging out with his girlfriend, that girlfriend has been silently helping Justin Roy. Based on this language and wording, Justin offered to pay Noah's girlfriend $500 if she could get that video. And Justin is saying, I told her, as in Noah's girlfriend, to act like she was mad at Noah and wanted him to get beat up. Wow. That's another level, that. Damn. This is beyond shocking. Based on interpretation and language, Justin Roy in the past was paying off Noah's girlfriend $500 to risk her life in order to get evidence so it could prove possible murder. But what Justin Roy suggested or asked of was to make Noah's girlfriend at the time pretend like she wanted Noah to indirectly get killed. That is beyond messed up. Okay, maybe it's sad, maybe it could work. But are you really going to request or ask someone to behave that way? When there is an emotional connection with one another and you ask of one person to go against that love, even if it's role play and acting and faking it, it's just not right in a sense. I mean, what's the worst thing that you can do? Well, we've seen it already. The worst thing that you can do is cause the victim's family anxiety, which Justin supposedly did. The worst thing that you can do is overstep the boundaries when the victim's family has told you to take a step back and Justin decides to keep on pushing. The worst thing that you can do is by falsely labelling the police out and calling them corrupt or certain people, which Justin in some way did, and the police responded. The worst thing that you can do is make a case harder and the investigation harder for the police, which Justin did. Is that what a good advocate does for a case? Oh, you're being vindictive, you're being manipulative, you're causing reasonable doubt. I'm doing nothing here. Justin is doing this all, and we're seeing it in motion over time. But linking back to supposedly Noah's girlfriend, the attempt to pay her off, Justin offering $500, wanting her to pretend that she wanted Noah to be beaten up and possibly killed in order to get other people to speak or share that information. I understand the method. I do understand it. Trying to pretend that you're siding with the opposition to be a part of them, to join their inner circle, to hear all the intel, the gossip, the evidence, and then eventually pull out like a spy, a plan. If it really was a murder case, is it right for Noah's girlfriend to be influenced by a stranger online known as Justin Roy, waving some money about to be influenced in infiltrating that friend group on behalf of Noah Presgrove? I mean, maybe it didn't happen, but it's the attitude and the intent behind it to begin with. Asking a girl, a woman, to do that and possibly risk their life for Noah. I know people can risk their own life for someone if they care, but it be because they make that decision themselves and they're not influenced by anyone else around. But in this case, it seemed like Justin Roy was being a bad, negative influence towards Noah's girlfriend, putting her, possibly, if it went wrong, in danger. Just like how Justin was negatively influencing and trying to indirectly corrupt the minds of the police by saying, I think we all know what really happened. We're not all a part of the same boat, and yet Justin is like the captain of the ship. He expects that wherever he steers the ship, everyone else follows in line. And if they don't, well, the labels, the complaining comes about. And it doesn't matter who you are, Justin does not discriminate against one particular person. He will call anyone out, which is quite a bold move to do, especially when it's Noah's family or when it's the police, but that's the way it is. But linking back to the girlfriend situation of Noah, whether the girlfriend wanted to do it or not, it's the attitude behind it, the suggestion. I said to her, pretend that you're mad at Noah and wanted him beat up. Wow. So you're suggesting or you're asking for Noah's girlfriend, a person that would have loved Noah deeply and more because of that connection and actual relationship, you're asking her to betray her own feelings to Noah just so you can get the evidence. That's messed up because it might be different for everyone, but my opinion only, one thing you never do, if you are in a relationship with someone and you care a lot about the other person, your partner, your girlfriend, early stages or long term, you never let the influence of outsiders dictate or influence what you do next in life or death, whether they're present or not anymore. You know, if they're present now or the long gone or they might not be alive, you don't destroy that love that you have for them for the sake of $500 or £500. You know what I'm saying? To get evidence, okay, to get justice, it's like a bargaining chip, but it just seems messed up. And having to pay someone to even do it or get someone to consider doing it, using money as an incentive, implying that without money, they wouldn't do it. And maybe they wouldn't do it for good reason, because it's dangerous or because they don't know how to or they don't think it's practical. But waving money about, an influence, an older adult waving money about to a younger woman, that doesn't seem good. Asking or suggesting that someone, a person that loves another person, to neglect their feelings, to disconnect, to pretend that they hate that person that they love most, just to get some answers and money. Wow. That is kind of messed up in a way. And the safeguarding aspect too is bad. I mean, you know, if you care about someone, you'll do what you can for them in life or death, or if they're present or not, you do what you can because they mean a lot to you. But if you have to disconnect your feelings or pretend that you hate them and you want them dead just so you can get evidence, that's just, I think, crossing the line in a way. Crazy, isn't it? Wow, I think we've seen a lot today. And I'm sure there's many more screenshots and much more, but this is just to try and summarise it from the different sides. The other perspective was the 1 year anniversary when some of people on the army page were speaking bad of Noah's family for how they grieved privately. And whilst Justin wasn't directly involved with that, they were still welcomed on that page. And then it was when Victor Presgrove called out the army page and called out Justin Roy for allowing it. So even Victor Presgrove, Noah's father, thought negatively of Justin at one point. There's a handful of people that were or are against Justin at some point, from Noah's family to the police and some members of the general public. It just doesn't look good. As I said, when I do my videos, when I do my stuff, it's either positivity or neutral, from victims' family to friends of whoever and so on. People either say, appreciate what you do, keep it up, or they might not say anything because they tolerate the coverage. But not once has anyone ever reached out of significance or importance and said, you need to step back. The only people that have ever told me to take a step back are members of the general public that have absolutely nothing to do with the case, or the victim's family or the police. So why should I listen to them? You know what I'm saying? As I said, if key people did reach out and said, stop, slow down, then I will. But if no one's telling me to stop, then there's no real reason to, unless there is nothing left to cover, right? At the end of the day, I do what I can. Sometimes it might be enough and other times it might not be, but as long as no real damage or harm's done, that's what matters. Either you do enough and it helps the case, or you do some stuff that doesn't help but it doesn't cause any problems. That's the best case scenario, right? And yet there's other people out there that do a lot or may do more than me, but at the same time they're causing more problems than me. Now, which one would you pick over that? It's not good. I've seen a lot today. I mean, like, what did Justin say? Something about, I'm not too married about other people or their thoughts. But then look at how he acts at times. It seems a bit hypocritical, and not so much Justin, but like just randomly other people that are associated with him. Similar attitudes, similar behaviour, labels, whining, complaining. When a conversation has been lost, an argument has been lost with them, when there's facts or evidence which goes against them, what did they resort to? Just insults. And people say, oh, you're being paid off. Or if someone complains, says, oh, Raf, your hair is a mess. Oh, Raf, you look a mess. Your hair is a mess. Your facial hair, you look homeless. And it's like, is that what you have to resort to? You got nothing else of value to provide, and you go directly after and attack my hair, my facial hair. I mean, look, reality check. Who am I more likely to listen to? Strangers online who throw the toys out the pram, that target and label my hair as messy, or another person online that knows quite a bit about hair and respects hair and values my hair and give compliments? I think I know who I will be listening to. Someone who is an actual expert, has experience, knows what they're talking about, knows the importance behind hair, knows the backstory behind it in the styling, the visual look, I guess the presence that it can transfer with someone, whether it be personal self or assisted by someone else. Am I going to listen to some random cretin online talking about hair, or am I going to listen to maybe a viewer that knows a lot more about hair? I'm going to be knowing the viewer. Shout out to them. Unusual, but jumping directly to insults, they've lost the argument. Insults, lightheartedness, different when it's outside of an argument to try and break through the negativity, as we've seen, has been demonstrated here. But once again, I ask you, does an advocate for Noah act and behave in such a way like this, what we've presented and looked at today? I don't think so. Share your thoughts down below. This is just an observation, what we've seen, what's been documented over time, and people's own personal opinions and thoughts from Noah's family to the police and so on. I think it speaks volume, don't you? This is not an attack, this is just observing behaviour which other people have created within themselves, created their own problems. So if you want to share the video to spread the awareness, if you want to hit the thumbs up, feel free to do so. With that being it, we'll leave it there for now. Take care, goodbye, I'll see you next time.